What's up guys, and welcome to another YouTube video with me today here with Donna over here. If you're familiar with our YouTube, then you'll recognize Donna from a previous video that we've gone through. And today we're going to be taking you through a workout from day one of this phase of the Elite Bikini Body program. It's our glutes and hamstrings focus day. Basically what we're going to do, similar to the previous YouTube video, we're going to be taking you through all the exercises, but then also modifications to those exercises. So how to get better at those exercises, tips, tricks on how to improve. But then as I said, we're taking Donna through it today, so you get the best technique, the best model possible for this. And by the way, if you don't know anything about Donna, we're going to put up some really embarrassing before and after photos right here on the screen, just to show how far Donna has come in her own journey. Anyway, on to today's Elite Bikini Body workout, day one of this phase. Okay, so this is exercise number one. It's a seated hamstring curl with a preset ISO hold. Now Donna's gonna demo this with a comfortable-ish weight. We've already done a few kind of warm-up sets with this, just working up to kind of comfortable sets of 10. This is our first working set. So what we're gonna do is start with that preset ISO hold. Get my words mumbled there. Preset ISO hold for 10 seconds. So all the way down, drive your heels towards your butt. So it's 10 seconds here. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we go into our full reps. So about 9, 10 reps with this one. So full range of motion, 2 seconds up, 1 second down. There you go, 2. So that preset ISO hold just allows you to focus on your hamstrings a little bit more. So you're really kind of building that mind-muscle connection, among other things. So that preset ISO hold works in many ways, but for what we're using it for here, it's to build that mind-muscle connection with your hamstrings before you go into your dynamic set. How many are we on?
10.
10, there you go, cool. Nice. So while Donna's resting between one of her working sets, an alternative for this one, if you do not have a seated hamstring curl, you can also use a lying hamstring curl, like the one I'm about to show you on here. So lying hamstring curl, the exact same idea. Make sure your feet or your toes are pointing straight forwards so everything's nice in line. Drive all the way to the top. You're gonna hold there for 10 seconds. Once you've held for 10 seconds, you'll then do your dynamic set. So the idea is the exact same in that you're starting your set with that preset ISO hold for 10 seconds and then into your dynamic reps. The difference being between the lying and the seated is that the seated variation has your hips in a more flexed position, which will load your hamstrings more in that lengthened range. So you'll feel more of a stretch or a load in that stretch position, whereas a lying variation, you're gonna kind of feel it a little bit more in that contracted position. So if I'm being really picky in the context of the program, then we wanna be using the seated variation, but if lying is the only option, then go with the lying one instead. So exercise number 2 in this phase on day one is actually a hack squat. Now, this is kind of real world here. Now, for Donna, obviously we're training Donna in person. We know what works, we know what doesn't work. We've actually swapped out the hack squat in that plan for a leg press. Now, that's an alternative, obviously, that you can do as well. We do find that they are equally as beneficial, but just with Donna and the style of hack squat that's at this gym, the leg press actually just works a little bit better. So we're just working up to a good set of 9, 10 reps, and we'll have a look at that one in just a second. So we're trying to make this set as glutes dominant as we can for Donna. We're trying not to kind of grow our quads too much. So really the stance is just one that allows us to get as much range of motion in her hips as possible. She could take her feet a little bit higher up on that foot plate. It doesn't quite feel right for her. So this is what your set should roughly look like when we're going close to failure. Nice work. So I'm just going to demo your hack squat, which is obviously in the program, just really quickly. So this is a Panatta hack squat. As I said, it just doesn't really fit Donna very well, but for a lot of people, it can be a good option. So, and obviously it's programmed for you. So with this one, you're going to stand up and kind of release it just by using this, this lever to your left-hand side. The stance that we want with your legs is one that will allow you to get the greatest range of motion in your hips. For most people, that's taking your feet slightly higher up there, okay? But if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, really, it's just whatever position feels most comfortable, okay? So from there, all we're looking at doing is getting as much range of motion as we can in our hips, making sure our knees are tracking nicely over our toes, driving through our heels, not locking out at the top. So that is your hack squat, and that is obviously what's programmed in, but a leg press, just like we've shown, is obviously a good alternative if you need an alternative. So next up, as you've just seen, we've got a hip thrust. Now, to be honest, I don't mind what hip thrust variation you use. We're using a Smith machine. You can use barbell, you can use a glute drive, whichever one feels best for you. We quite like this Smith machine, even though the actual Smith machine itself is quite heavy and it's one of the angled ones. It's not ideal. For Donna, this one does tend to feel best. She feels it less in her hamstrings, more in her glutes, and we're just kind of working up weight at the moment. So really, you don't need any alternatives to this one. There's always a hip thrust variation that you can do. If you don't like any barbell variations and you're just kind of starting out things, then I really don't mind if you want to use something like a dumbbell just across your hip, a fairly light dumbbell, just to kind of build that connection, or even something like a sandbag, or if you're really just starting out, then body weight might be all that you need. But hopefully you're at the level where you need some load, and in that case, a Smith machine is a good option, barbell's a good option, glute drive machine is also a good option. So let's go into set number 2, which is obviously going to be a slightly heavier set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down, 7, good, come on, 8, keep going, come on, and again. And again, come on, no, you can do more. You can do more. Reset. Let's treat it like an extended set. That's it, and again. And again. One more. You can stop there, good. Nice, well done. So this exercise is an angled Smith machine split squat. I know it's a bit of a mouthful. I've called it a few different things. The simple idea is, as you've seen with Donna, we're just slightly angled off in that Smith machine. We're kind of resting it across one shoulder. We're working into a deficit, so making sure that that back knee is dropping below the height of the step. You can also use a plate if you want to. Sometimes I like to do this with a little bit of a twist involved. We won't do that today. We're just using kind of a variation where we're just going straight up, straight down. If you cannot do this in the Smith machine, I will show you a dumbbell variation as an alternative, which I think most of you should be able to do as well. But let's just have a look at another set of Donna doing it, making sure that we're getting that full depth all the way down, and just going through some really key points with this exercise. Okay, so a few key technique points with this one. Obviously, we're looking at that bar being over one side of the shoulder, and then the grip is just on that one side, which frees up your other hand. You don't really have to be doing much with that other hand. But the key here really is to be making sure that this knee is going below the height of the box or step, so we get that full stretch on this glute at the moment. Nice work, Donna. Good. Nice work. Have a minute. So I'm going to show you an alternative if you don't have access to a Smith machine or you don't want to use a Smith machine. So all you're going to do, dumbbell in the opposite hand to the leg that's forward, that's working. Really try and load through that front glutes. Start on the floor because it's just a lot easier to get into. And what you're going to do is just slightly rotate to allow you just to load that glute a little bit more. So I'm going to rotate. I'm almost kind of allowing that shoulder to drop and then press that weight through that front heel. And then down, so I'm here to here. Now what you're gonna notice is how I'm holding this dumbbell a little bit differently. So the reason I'm holding this dumbbell just with a little bit more like internal rotation at the shoulder is just to allow more space here, okay? So that dumbbell isn't knocking against my shin, and it allows me just to have that little bit more of a rotation and really kind of load that glute a little bit more on that side, all right? If that feels a little bit awkward, you can just do a standard inline deficit split squat if you want to. As I said, that is the best alternative for you in this current phase instead of the angled split squat. So next up, we've got a bench supported or back leg bench supported single leg RDL. So this is kind of like a hybrid between a single leg RDL and like a 2-leg RDL. So you've got to think about this one as though it's mostly working through that one leg. So at the moment we've got Donna working her right side, and the left leg is there just to slightly support and also keep those hips level. What we have also done in the past is, if the bench is a little bit too high for you, you might need to put something down on the floor to elevate yourself a little bit higher. So just to understand what I mean, so imagine this bench was a little bit too high for Donna. What you can do to compensate for that is just to elevate up, just using a plate, that working side leg. And all that's doing is just allowing those hips to remain a little bit more level, okay? So really, you shouldn't need an alternative to this one. I really think you can get a lot out of it. Feel free to tag me in your Instagram posts if you want to share some form stuff with me, if you want to get a little bit of feedback from me with regards to your form on this. But I really do think if you persevere with this exercise instead of trying to swap it out, it's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck. So real world gym scenario here. So within this training day on the Elite Bikini Body program, you've actually got the seated abductor machine, and it's like a mechanical drop set. So you go from an upright position straight into a set, leaning forward as well. Now, again, real world gym scenario here. The seated abductor machine is being used. So we get the chance to show you an alternative. And we've gone with a cable abduction. So we're setting up here at the moment for a standard cable abduction. We're just going to do a slight few tweaks with it, which I'll explain to you in just a second. And then instead of obviously the mechanical drop set that you'll be doing with your seated abductor machine, we're going to finish with some like an extended partial rep set. All right, so come have a look at this one. Okay, so with this cable abduction, what we're actually doing, we're kind of focusing more on abduction than hip extension. You can kind of do this more at a 45-degree angle. We're doing this mostly coming off to the side, maybe kind of 10 degrees back or so. The idea being that we're doing 12 reps with this, and then as our like mechanical drop set, we're then going to finish with some partial reps. So as soon as you've hit your 12, Donna, you're just going to do some partials, okay? So we're just doing partials in that length and range, about another set of 12 or as many reps as you can just to finish it off, okay? So it's just kind of a burnout at the end, really trying to feel that in your glutes, contracting. Nice work. There you go. Good job. So that's the end of our training day from this phase of the Elite Bikini Body program. Obviously, this is day one, which is more our glutes, hamstrings focused day. Hopefully you've got some ideas from this workout if you're not part of the Elite Bikini Body program as to how to structure your workout, but also some options if you're looking for different ways to kind of stimulate your glutes, and obviously a little bit of hamstrings, a little bit of quads involved in what we've done today as well. If you've got any questions, obviously drop them below in the comments. And just remember, if you're not part of the Elite Bikini Body program, you can get 7 days completely free. I'll drop the link in the description. 7 days completely free. You've also got $200 worth of bonus gift as part of that as well. Come join me as part of the Elite Bikini Body program and see some progress. Let's get you on track. Let's make sure you're getting the results that your time and your effort deserve. Thanks for joining us.